to speak on the Mayan day at a time calendar day per the Mayan calendar system. And what does that mean? And what does that look like? And how can you be utilizing this energy of this day at a time? And what is it exactly? Well, per the Mayan calendar system, first of all, the Mayans had many calendar systems. And this is the Toltec, the Tzolkin Mayan calendar that says that every July 25th, we have what's called a day at a time. And I have an app on my phone, which is called the 1320 sync calendar system that talks about the Mayan calendars and, and the dream spells or the wave spells, which are basically, think of like poetry or words or prose of language that the Mayans were using to describe the energy fields of that day, of that spell, of that 13-day, 20 seal that goes into the 13 moon calendar system. So the Mayans had it correct as far as mathematic precise. You know, the Gregorian calendar system, we created these arbitrary days to rectify the 365 year cycle, which really, if you're even looking at the circumference of a circle, it's 360 degrees, right? So where did the 5 come from? The 5 is the digits. It's the digital age, right? It's the extra 5 days that have to be accounted for somehow. So the Mayans were able to rectify that by having what's known as a day at a time. And so tomorrow on July 26th is the first galactic calendar year that's going to be starting a new cycle. So what I've been able to tune into and inference, and just from my own self-study, and the guys, we have YouTube, right? We have the internet. So if you're wanting to know more about these things, the galactic calendar, and again, this is the app. It's called the 1320 Sync app, and you can get that on Apple or Google Play. And again, it has a series of prose or poetry that describes each day. So on this galactic day at a time, and this picture I took was from the app itself. So this is the image that was given around the earth right now. So if you can imagine, this is a triangle. Think of like the pyramids of Giza, right? And this is the top point of it, right? If you were to look at it from a 3D perspective, these are the energies. These are the earth, air, fire, water, and of course the fifth element, which is you, which is ether, right? The space where soul comes from, if you believe in that way. And again, this is all just a story, guys. It's just my own gnosis, my own tuning into the energies and wanting to express it. And wanting to feel the depth of this reset, because we've heard a lot about resets, right? And being reset. What does that even mean? Re is to do again, and set was that foundation. I see like a 4, right? And 4 is always foundation numerologically. If you're studying, you know, the numbers and what the 4 means, 4 is foundation. And so I was told today before this transmission to use blue tansy oil, which is, I use doTERRA and other oils, but this blue tansy is actually on my throat right now. You can kind of see it's for opening up the throat chakra and just really allowing us to access truth, whatever truth means for you, that spirit of truth, honoring the quest, the noble quest for truth in this day out of time as we are transcending time, as we're moving out of this old consciousness and moving into a new consciousness. We're in this in-between phase of the void, if you will. So per my own research and just tuning into what feels right in this now moment on how to utilize this day at a time, it's really about going inward. It's an inward expression, an inward journey towards what you want this next 364-day cycle to embody, to energize into being. And because it's a reset, we don't have to just come from a default system, what we're used to creating, right? It's going back to this foundational, and they call, I think it's interesting, they call it the wave spell, right? I think of spelling, like spell casting. Was there a spell or a dream spell that's been cast over this planet, right? And the Mayans were telling us about it, and that time is actually the program. And back in 2012, a lot of you guys remember they saying that that was the end of the Mayan calendar system, right? That the end of 2012 was the end of time. And so there's been a lot in the media about, especially with the mandala effects and re-experiencing time in a new way, seeing on the media and on the world stage how time is illusionary, it's elusive and it's illusionary. And also this whole preface of, well, how this realm was created where time equals money. And as an astrologer, Pluto, which rules big money, right? Plutonian money, old world money. I think of like the Rockefellers, the Carnegies, right? The JP Morgans, the old money is collapsing because Pluto is the collapser. Pluto is the transformer. Think of like the tarot, it's the death card, right? It has to change. And death in and of itself is kind of an interesting concept because in the etheric realms, the ether, the 5 planes, right? We've got the 4 elements plus the etheric realm, the 5th element, which is the 5, right? 5 digits, the digital age, where we're using digits. Death really doesn't exist, but we've created death as a concept and as a construct to play this game. If you are coming from the premise that we're living in this holographic universe, that there really isn't solid matter, that we're just creating this from an illusionary space. And if you're looking at quantum physics and again, there's all these languages, again, you can go look all this stuff up on YouTube and Google and look on the internet, which to me is the Akashic Records, right? It's a form of the Akashic Records. It's a form of a artificial replica of the Akashic intelligence that's all around us. And basically it's information. It's telling us information about ourselves, remembrances, and these cycles of time, which even if you look at the word time backwards, it's emit, right? So we think of frequency and sound and vibration. And so time as a structure is emitting a specific frequency. And the Mayans were telling us that we can get into these states of getting out of this particular frequency and going into no time, which I would consider going into no space, going into the void, if you will, going back to the roots, going back to the soil as a new foundational point to restart a new cycle. Because in this realm, if you imagine there is no beginning, no end, right? Creation always has been, always will be, has never begun, it never ends, but yet we have to create cycles, beginning points and ending points within an infinite universe. So think of the finite within the infinite, or I think of infant, right? So we start these wheels again through our cycles, these gestation periods, which denote 9 months. And today's day out of time is actually denoted by the number 18. So this is also, if you're looking numerologically wise, it's a 9, and there's magic in the number 9, that it's beginning and completion at the same time, right? It's almost like the circle of the 9, and then the little glyph comes out of it. So it's saying it's beginning again. It's like starting a new Fibonacci cycle, if you will. So I'm going to read to you really quickly what this Mayan calendar day at a time denotes, what the poetry is saying, what the prose of the day is inferencing. Because we're ending this time of the wave spell. We're moving into out of the white overtone mirror, and we're going into the blue rhythmic storm, okay? But today's white overtone mirror says, I am power in order to reflect, commanding order. And order is if you think about what time is, it's a logical logos time field of measurement, which would provide some sort of order or some sort of construct, some sort of definitive dimension, something that we can hold on to that's textile, right? It's that we feel like we're holding on to solid matter. And this is what the idea of time can allow, is for matter to come into a physical construct. So I empower in order to reflect. Think of like a mirror, right? Why we created one another. If we are all from the one, which lives in astrology, comes from all as self, we are the one source field of energy. We need reflections or feedbacks from what we're experiencing and what we're projecting to show what it is we're reflecting within ourselves and within consciousness, right? So therefore we had to have one another to create this simulation, this holograph, if you will, as source is experiencing itself, as God is experiencing itself, as he or she, we are experiencing the one through the other. I seal, let me get out of this. I seal the matrix of self-generation with the rhythmic tone of equality. I seal the matrix, and we all talk about this, right? We're in a matrix, even the movie Matrix, right? Well, matrix is a lattice. Some people define it as the word mother or mater, which is matter. But it's also, I think of like a matrix as a lattice field of like a web, a webbing, if you will. If any of you have ever webbed things together or weaved things together, like a tapestry or a crochet, things of that is a lattice, right? And I seal the lattice or the matrix of self-generation. So our ability to self-regenerate. That's what's coming in today in this day out of time, is our ability to go back to 0 point and tap into the regenerative principles of the void, of the dark matter, the dark matter, which would be the matrix, right? And true dark matter is a return to the soil where everything repurposes, rejuvenates, replenishes, it decomposes only to come back into another life-giving experience. And so today, as we are moving out of this time, as we're moving out of this frequency where this projection is being emitted, we can go back to the void. We can go back to the great mater or mother or matrix or lattice of the point of origin where all birth, all life is created. And it's important to denote that in this particular realm, what I'm experiencing is what's called the false dark, which is the inverted stuff that we see on television, all this dark, nefarious, demonic crap that people are projecting because we've been fed this false dark aspect of ourselves. It's almost like an overlay is what I'm seeing, this overlay matrix or mater that has been inverted. So think of like the inversion I see is for example, like the planet Mars, right? It's spelled M-A-R-S, but when it's inverted, it's at war, W-A-R-S, right? So the inversion is something as simple as a symbol that can invert, that can create a whole nother timeline experience of what that energy really is. And so in this time and space, what I'm being shown is that we are correcting or reverting back all the inversions, all the misunderstandings, the reflections. Because remember, when you look at a reflection, you're looking at the inversion of something. It's a matter, you know, when you go into a mirror and you're trying, say you have something on your shirt and then you try to read it in the mirror and you read it backwards, right? Because it's inverted. It's the same thing with this reflection that we've been projecting in this time period where time equals money. And then all the creations that come from that mantra, that what this world, this matrix, this lattice has been overlaid with, if you will. So what's coming in today really strong is that we have an opportunity to reset that. We have an opportunity to, I'm saying, just simply pull the string and remove the lattice. It's like remove the filter, or I'm thinking of the Wizard of Oz, and we can go and peel back, see, behind the curtain, if you will, into nothingness, which is our original state, which is where we come from, where we're going. But just because it's the dark void doesn't mean it's empty. It just means where all of creation emerges from, like a giant womb space, if you will. So the next part of this poem for today, or this set of mantras, if you will, that denotes this energy, it says, with the rhythmic tone of equality, I am guided by my own power doubled. With the rhythmic tone of equality, and I think of equality like equal, right? So there's a rhythm and a tone that's bringing this balanced equality. And with that, we're being guided back into ourselves, which is why it's a very internal process, this day out of time, where we're going back to our own emissions, our own ability. Our own power is doubled because it's balanced. So accessing those power points within us is an important part of this journey. It's an important activation, utilization of this day at a time, if you will. Because not many people talk about this. Not many, the Mayans, and again, they have many calendar systems, but this particular calendar system, specifically pointing to also, I was looking at, and I don't know how to put this on here, and I can maybe share this with you guys later. I have this really awesome app called Stellium, and it shows where the planets and the stars, the fixed stars, are aligned. And so I took this photo image of where the sun is aligned with not only Sirius, right? So a lot of people talk about the 8-8 portal, which is where aligned to our Sirius galactic star system, but that's actually not true. The specific alignment happens between July 3rd and July 9th. But where we are right now in this day out of time, there is a fixed star called Procyon, which is right in between the sun and Sirius. It's almost like in this ley line. So here's Sirius, here's our central sun, and there's this fixed star called Procyon right in the middle during this day out of time. And when I was researching the aspect and characteristics of Procyon, it actually denotes a lot of characteristics of Mars and Mercury. Now, what's interesting is that Mars right now is in the sign of Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury. And Mercury, how we think, how we process, how we communicate, just went into the sign of Virgo, which is also ruled by Mercury, right? So we've got a lot of mercurial energy, which is very much about the mind, thoughts, communications, words, which can become spells, right? So this is the Mayan wave spell. And every time we're invoking in this Mayan wave spell, we're invoking in this lattice, if you will, this spell, this image. Okay, calm down. Shh, it's okay. Oh, we got deer that just popped up. Oh, wow. As I'm speaking, there's a whole family of deer. My dog, my friend Angel, calm down, girl, is seeing a family of deer right now. That's awesome. So deer medicine is about gentleness. And actually, upon the grand rising today, I saw a deer laying in the grass, and she seemed to be playing and just relaxing. So deer medicine to me is about having a gentle approach to these energies, these currents, these fluxes, these days out of time, this day out of time, and the beginning a whole new system, a whole new 364-day cycle of 13 moons, 28 days. So let me come back to what wanted to be expressed today in this now moment. Coming back to Mars and Mercury. So Mars, in its base elemental form, if you're looking at the planet Mars, it just means action. It means the action we take. It's our primordial instincts, how we survive, the action we take without thinking, we just do. And because it's in the sign of Gemini, Gemini is all about the mind. So what impetus or impetuous ideas or thoughts are coming through you and from you at this time? And can you direct them? Think of like a surge of energy, right? Think of like the image I'm seeing right now is I'm in Florida, and there's these really cool indoor wave pools, right? So it's like contained waves, and you can go and play in these wave pools and pretend like you're in the ocean, but they're actually contained in this container, this building that's creating all this, you know, it seems like it's fun, and it seems like you're waving and you're going through all these different, you know, like you're in the water, in the ocean, but you're safe because it's contained. It's like that. That's what this Mars in Gemini, because the mind is the container. Think of like the hemispheres, right? Even just above, even I love this graphic, right? Because to me, the world, it's showing also our mind, right? And how there's two hemispheres. There's this equality, this, and it almost seems like it's battling, right? The right hemisphere and the left hemisphere, the parts of us that are highly creative and connected and empathic, which is considered very feminine. And there's also the masculine aspect, which is very linear and logical and measures time, and it's ruled by the masculine. But we need both of these in equal measure to have been formed into this reality, right? So we are bioelectrical beings, biological, electrical beings. So the magnetic part of us, the bioelectrical magnetic part of us, the magnetic is the feminine, and the electric is the masculine. So we need both hemispheres. We need both parts of the brain. And what this day is affording is for this balance, this equity of seeing the value of our masculine and our feminine sides as equal measure. We need the electric part of this because it's an electric universe, but we also need that dark mother matter, dark feminine magnetic part of us where all creation is from. And then we need that movement, that sound that creates light, that will create movement, that creates form and structure, right? So we need that funkin' dating, or this friction component of the masculine and feminine, which is about electrical, like think of like the AC and DC currents, right? You need the ascending current and the descending current. Remember, Jacob's ladder goes up and down. And for those of you who know, or in the know of Jacob's ladder, if not, please check it out and do your own research. Again, please don't just take my word for anything that I'm saying. Use it through your filtration system of your own inner knowledge, of your own inner truth. And what works for you, what feels truthful to you, please, by all means, take it, imbibe with it, grow with it. And if it doesn't feel true to you, that's okay too. Discard it, put it back in the compost, right? Let it go back into the soil and create something new. So this is all we can ask for ourselves and from one another right now during this window, this day out of time, as we are transcending old beliefs, old matrices, old lattices, old creation forms. We're peering behind the veil to see the truth of who we really are, which is we are connected to everything and everyone because all is one, all is source. We are coming from this giant source field of energy. But again, through time, through the illusion of division of the fractal parts of us, which is really, if you look at the rainbow, right? It's like that whole prison. I think of like, what is it? Pink Floyd in the album, right? Dark Side of the Moon. It's like the one light that gets fractaled off of this triangle, which is there's the triangle, right? And separated into 4 different elements, but it's really all one, just fractaled out into different versions of itself. So I'm going to say hello to anybody. First of all, I want to thank everybody that's here, that's watching, that's part of this transmission, this conversation. This is something that wanted to come through. Again, I had to use all my tools, the blue tansy for opening up the throat chakra. There it is right there. Also, I'm using labradorite, which is helping me stay connected. And that's funny, you can see the light. Almost looks like a portal. Yeah, it kind of looks like a portal it's going through. And I'm also using a clear quartz with a point to just to stay on point with what it is that I'm transmitting and what wants to come through today. And I wanted to offer the collective for anybody that's here, that's watching and now or in the future. I wanted to pull a card for us. Again, I'm going to be using this Tarot of Dreams because we are in the waking dream is how I'm seeing it. And again, I don't know if you guys can see this or not. Trying to, anyway, it's a Tarot of Dreams by Ciro Marcinetti. And I wanted to see what now in the collective energy needs to be seen in this day out of time. What information, what particular card or energy form wants to come through that represents this day out of time, and how we can work with it, how we can, I don't want to say work with it because work is war with self, how you can utilize it, how you can best take the magic of this time period and alchemize whatever it is in your life. It's turning lead into gold, right? So taking the densest parts of our lives and spinning it and weaving it and crafting it and making it into something that's usable for all of us, that will benefit all of humanity and all of the sentient beings, not just humanity, but everyone that's living on Earth, that's outside of Earth, that's in Middle Earth, that's around us. Just what do we need to know as a collective of sentient beings coming from source? Well, this is interesting. Talk about the balance, right? So the card Justice came out. I don't know if you guys can see that. But this is the Justice card. And again, there goes to that equality, that balance. Talking about equalizing the right and left hemispheres of the brain. And you can see again that card, and you can see it here, but there you go. And if you notice, she's got blinders on. So again, being willing to look past the illusion of what you think you're seeing, whether it's on television, again, everything's a reflection. So whatever you're seeing is going to be inverted. That's just the way it works with our brain and our mind and how cameras work. And so being able to have the blindfold and to feel what feels in balance. This is Libra. This is about, Libra is all about creating balance. And with this day of out of time, which again, I'm going to read it to you one more time. I organize in order to catalyze, balancing energy. There's that balance again. I organize in order to catalyze. Oh, I'm sorry. This is tomorrow's. Hold on. Let me go back to today's. That's tomorrow's wave spell. This is today's. Let me go back. I empower in order to reflect, commanding order. So order, Libra also rules the justice system, law and order. Actually, most Libras are somewhere in the justice system. Either they're judges or they're lawyers. So just a side note, astrologically, you're going to find a lot of the people that work in the law system tend to be Libras because, again, because of this need for justice and balance. I empower in order to reflect, commanding order. I seal the matrix of endlessness with the overtone of radiance. With the overtone of radiance, I am guided by the power of death. And again, death is not what we think. Death is simply an illusion. It's an ending of a cycle. Because again, how do you create the finite out of the infinite? Right? So, or infinity, and creating the finite out of infinity. Well, you create cycles, you create patterns, you create lattices, you create matrices that have a beginning point, a middle point, and an end point in this whole illusionary vortex of time and space, so that we can create and maintain and then destroy, so that we can create something new, because we are creators. We are part of the divine creator aspect of God, universe, source energy, whatever it is that you call your divine nature. That is you as well in this finite vessel. So again, it's an opportunity to really go inwards, to allow yourself to explore what feels interesting and relevant and important and poignant to you, what feels most loving and vibrationally balanced and of equity to you right now, whatever that may be, And if it means having to, you know, go do some movements or go work with breath or go be out in nature if you can, just really get into that inward state of balance, whatever that means for you. Right now I'm cooking lentils and I'm going to make a nice nourishing meal. It's getting ready to rain here. I've got to sit, be with my dog Angel because she doesn't like, it's actually my friend's dog Angel, but she doesn't like the thunder or the lightning. So I'm going to allow myself time to just snuggle with her and be with her and give her that support and that love and that nurturance, and feed myself a nice bowl of lentils and just be in my heart and not so much in the mind. I'm just going to allow myself to step out of time and to feel the support. Like if I had everything I need, which we do in every now moment, I know we tend to worry and project. Again, that projection, what we see sometimes can be inverted. But just know that in this right now, you have everything you need. No matter where you're at, no matter what you're doing, even if things are hard, even if things seem very dense and you can't see anything but the soil, which is the deep reservoir, which is the dark, which is not the inverted dark, which is the false dark, but which is the dark of returning back to source. That's okay, because that's where we are energetically. We're returning back to source. It's okay, Mama. I'll put some lavender oil in a minute. Yes. By the way, I've discovered that if your dogs have anxiety during a storm with the thunder and the lightning, that lavender oil helps. I just put a little bit of lavender oil with some castor oil and just put it on her body, and she seems to really like it. So I just wanted to let you know. And that's really good for anxiety too, guys, if you're feeling anxiousness. Natural medicines, especially essential oils, really work. So lavender is going to be something that I'm going to be playing with and putting on Angel now. So anyway, I feel complete now because I want to take care of Angel. I want to go nourish myself. And again, I just felt compelled to share this energy, this frequency, this perspective of this day out of time for the Mayan calendar system. And if any of you guys can relate to what is being said or shared, please, share in the comments what it is, how it is you're experiencing this day, and how you're going to be utilizing this day out of time for your own. Rick, it's okay, honey, it's okay. Come on. Yeah, and just giving you an opportunity, giving you a perspective of maybe how to navigate these currents of energies that you may be experiencing, and an opportunity to go inward, really to gather yourself, just to allow yourself to be without the stories, without, again, we're all be able to see behind the curtain that all is self, that this dance of eternity we will do for eternity, that death is an illusion, and that we can transcend all of this by being in our hearts and being very quiet today, allowing the energy to just flow through us. As we are spell casting, we are weaving reality in real time as we are out of time in this now moment. Thank you so much, everybody who's here with me, who's been on this journey. Again, I'm still navigating this live, and so I would love to be able to invite live guests the next time I'm here as I'm getting more versed in this. So thank you guys for participating. Thank you for sharing your time and energy. And I got to go take care of Angel because she's needing some of my love and my attention, and she needs to feel safe right now. All right, guys. Thanks for playing. So much love to you. Bye. Okay, let me see if I can get out of this. All right. Getting out of this, guys. Swipe left to close. Oh, okay. Bye, guys.